Hello, I'm Maya Brannon. Today we have the scoop on the Los Angeles and Orange County concert scene. Esther Wu has an exclusive interview with Long Beach City College senior fashion students. And we have the top 10 songs to listen to this fall. All this coming up on IE News. Stay tuned for more. For our first feature, DJ Resound with the top 10 songs you should listen to this fall.
What's up, everyone? I'm Sean Swirsky, but on the radio, I go by DJ Resound. I got your Billboard Top 10 hits all lined up and ready to go, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. Starting at number 10 is Fight Song by Rachel Platten. At number 9, Fetty Wap with his hit, Trap Queen. At number 8 is Locked Away by R City featuring Adam Levine. Lucky number 7, once again Fetty Wap, featuring Remy Boyce with his track 679. At number 6, we have the beautiful and talented Selena Gomez, featuring A$AP Rocky with her hit track Good For You. At the halfway point is Lean On by Major Lazer and DJ Snake featuring M.O. Number 4, we have The Hills by The Weeknd. At number 3 is the extremely catchy and fun to dance to Wash Me by Silento. Taking the number 2 position by storm is Cheerleader by OMI. And last but not least, in our top spot at number 1 is once again The Weeknd with his track Can't Feel My Face. Check me out on The Vault on klbc.org Mondays from 2 to 4. Also check out our sister station, kcty.org, and check out our Ustream live webcam feed pages, KLBC and KCTY, www.ustream.tv. I'm DJ Resound with The Vault, and I'll catch you guys later.
Are you ready to rock out this fall? Gwen Gregory gives a rundown of upcoming concerts in the Southland for the month of Rocktober.
Hello, I'm Gwen Gregory with the Concert Buzz for Rocktober 2015. We have some great shows coming to Los Angeles and Orange County, so get your calendar out and mark the dates. At the Forum, Canadian rocker Neil Young will be playing with The Promise of the Real on October 14th. The first leg of the Rebel Content Tour has drawn a truly overwhelming response to Young and Promise of the Real's amazing energy, ranging from solo acoustic to full band acoustic to full-on raging rock jams. These 2 to 3 hour ever-changing dream set lists feature material from both the latest release, The Monsanto Years, and Young's entire catalog and have left audiences enthralled. If you're a fan, you can't miss this one. Check out the English indie rock band Alt J at the Hollywood Bowl on October 15th. The entertaining Janet Jackson will play at the Forum during her Unbreakable tour. You can see her show October 16th. Florence and the Machine will be at the Hollywood Bowl October 16th and 17th. If you didn't get to see the Foo Fighters at one of the 3 shows they played in September, you have another chance on October 17th when they get Sonic at the Anaheim Honda Center. English rock band Blur is at the Hollywood Bowl October 20th. Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band are playing at the Hollywood Bowl on October 22nd and at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater on the 24th. The fabulous Madonna is performing at the LA Forum on October 27th and 28th. This is definitely one to go see. And finally, to wrap up the month on October 29th, Shut Up and Dance with Me Under the Stars at the Greek Theater for Walk the Moon. If you like to see live music but want to stay in Long Beach, I suggest checking out the calendars for the Gas Lamp, D Piazza's Lava Lounge, PCH Club, and Federal Underground in downtown Long Beach for upcoming gigs. Speaking of the Gas Lamp, if you're an Oingo Boingo fan, you must check out Dead Man's Party on October 31st for their 15th annual Halloween Bash with special guest The Great Pumpkin, a Smashing Pumpkins tribute. Doors open at 6 p.m. That's your concert report for October 2015. Now you know what's going on, so get out there and see some shows. I'm Gwen Gregory with IE News. Thank you for watching and keep rockin'.
Thanks, Gwen, for all that rockin' concert buzz. Reading is fundamental and fun. Up next, Ernesto gives all of the top reads from Oprah's book club.
Hello, my name is Ernesto Abarth, reporting for IE News, and I come with a special report all about books. As you know, there are many books out there available to read about all kinds of genres, but let's be honest, many of those books are not good. So that is why I come to you today with a few great choices made by one of the most reputable book clubs out there today, Oprah's Book Club. And instead of going through all 74 book selections that belong in the club, I think the best thing to do is focus on the 3 that have stood out and become the most popular with readers so that you know for sure that your time and money is being spent on a book that is worthwhile. So let's begin. The 3rd most popular book in Oprah's Book Club is Night by Elie Wiesel. Now, Oprah believes that this book is required reading for all humanity. It is a memoir of a man exposed to the horrors of the Holocaust as a 15-year-old boy. A memoir in which he questions why he was spared, as well as how could any God allow such darkness and evil to exist in the world. As you can imagine, this book is not easy to get through. There are times when you will want to stop reading this book because the subject matter is just too hard. But it is still a good read to finish because it is, as Oprah said, it really shows what the human spirit can endure and then become. Despite the hate the author grew up watching, he grows up to become someone who believes in things such as love and peace. And if he can continue to believe in the good things in life, considering what he went through as a child, then it shows that it can be done by anyone, no matter how dark a life one has lived. The 2nd most popular book of Oprah's Book Club is A Million Little Pieces by James Frey. Now, this book is not only interesting for its content, but for its context as well. You see, the book itself was first sold as a memoir, and it was about a broke and broken down 23-year-old alcoholic trying to turn his life around. But when people began to investigate the facts of the book and discovered that many of the details in it were false, it was too late. The book had already been selected to be part of the book club, and when the truth came out, Oprah and all the people who had thought that they were reading the actual life of the author expressed that they felt betrayed, that they had trusted this man and his story, and he had lied to them, and the genre of the book had to change into a semi-fictional novel in order to advertise the truth. But despite all the drama, the book is still considered by many to be a good read. And the drama surrounding the book actually complicates how readers can approach this book and the whole idea of truth-telling. After all, if your book was selected by one of the most powerful women in the world to be part of her book club, would you tell her that everything you wrote was a lie and that she should therefore go out and find another book to make famous? I'm not sure I could. The most popular book in Oprah's Book Club is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. It is the kind of book that you can expect to find in the self-help section of the bookstore. The intention of the book can certainly be said to be about helping people understand, for example, the difference between ego and the awareness behind the ego that lives inside all of us in order to live better lives. And I would say that one of my favorite lessons in this book, a lesson I know Oprah and all other readers of this book really value, is the idea that things are really not what they appear to be. In other words, things are really beyond the label people have given them. For example, the remote control right next to your hand. Can you take a moment and look at it without that label, without an answer about what it is? Looking at things this way, without names and labels, though at first may seem silly, actually helps you see things in a whole new light. Just try it out. And that concludes the top 3 most successful books of Oprah's Book Club since it was first formed. And if over 10 million people in total have read these books and have been satisfied, it is very safe to assume that you will too. As always, here at IE News, we will do our best to bring you the best in book-related news. So please continue watching. This has been Ernesto Abarth, and I will see you next time.
Thanks, Ernesto. Interested in getting into the award-winning Long Beach City College music program? Our senior producer, Drew Durnell, has an exclusive interview with LBCC music professor, Dr. Peter Knapp.
I'm joined here today by Dr. Knapp. Very nice to see you here.
You too.
So you are I guess your specialty is in music. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, what schools you went to, and what you do here at LBCC?
Sure, yeah. I started off at Elmhurst College near Chicago, and I studied music education as an undergrad there. And then I did all my graduate studies at Ohio State, and I studied music theory there and music history and composition, and finally got my doctorate in music theory. And now here at LBCC, I teach the music theory sequence of courses and the musicianship sequence of courses, part of it. There's another instructor that does a portion of the musicianship sequence. And then I help coordinate our applied music program, which is the program that really defines a music major here, because they have to get in through an audition and then have numerous courses that are co-requisites for that class. And then I also teach some GE courses, history of rock, appreciation, things like that.
Very cool. So you said you went to Ohio State. How was that? How was Ohio State's, that must have been a really fun environment.
It was good. It was great. I mean, Elmhurst College is a very small liberal arts private college. So going to Ohio State, it was going from a very small pond to a really big school. So the music school is very large there, undergrad and graduate program. So it was a great experience, and I actually got to interact with a lot of different departments. And as far as other topics of study, I did music psychology also as part of my theory studies. So I got to work in the psychology department with people who specialized in music psychology studies. And then they also have a large cognitive studies department in the music department as well. So I got a lot of kind of cross-discipline studies there as well.
Wow, that's very cool. So, so I have to say something. I started off wanting to do music, like a music major. What are some of the, for some of the incoming students, what's kind of the process of becoming a music major? I know you mentioned that you need to go through a performance, like an evaluation.
Yeah.
So how would, I guess, a new student go about that?
Well, the first thing to realize is that being a music major it's really demanding actually, and it's not the kind of thing you typically walk off the street and say, I want to be a music major. You need some background in it. So if someone's interested in that, please come and talk with us is a good place to start, so we can kind of see what your background is and give you some advice. But as far as getting into the program, yes, there's an audition to get into the program. And that's really setting somebody up for a transfer experience. We have the Music AA, and then we also have a Music ADT, Associate's Degree for Transfer, that have very specific requirements. And those are really set up to get somebody the academic skills they need for theory, musicianship, and so forth. And then getting into the ensembles. And then that's also where the applied program comes in, where they get more of the individual study that specializes in their instrument or voice. So it's really a good idea to come and talk with us, come talk with me or any of the faculty, the full-time faculty, to give you some advising. There are counselors who specialize in the arts as well, and they understand how the ADT works. But it's a good idea to contact me or one of the other faculty and get some input on where you're at and what you would really like to do and the best way to start off. We have several courses that they can begin with, beginning piano, beginning voice, beginning theory, as a way of getting your feet wet and finding out some of the basics and see where you're at.
Very cool. So I have to ask you, what are your specialties in terms of instruments? What are your instruments that you played through, still, I guess, today?
Yeah. Well, I played percussion throughout all of my music experiences through school and so forth, both in mostly classical, but some jazz as well. I also studied piano when I was younger, and then I came back to piano for my undergraduate degree. I do some guitar, I do some voice studies, I sing in a lot of choirs. So kind of touching on a lot of different things, but mostly percussion and piano are my main things. And then in graduate school I was doing mostly research type things, and so not as much performance. So I still occasionally perform here, help out some of the ensembles here and there, cool. But never as much as I'd like to. I'm typically doing more paperwork than I'd like to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I have to ask you, as I guess I like to ask all music professors, what do you listen to? What's your genre of music normally? Just kind of casually listening.
A variety of things. I know it's a favorite thing for people to ask, as if there's some, kind of magic special thing. There isn't. I mean, there's so much great music out there. So I like to think of it more as, at the gym, what am I listening to? Well, when you're at the gym, you like something that's going to make you energetic, right?
Yes.
So. And what are my presets on my car, for instance? Well, actually, the first two are NPR, and then after that, it's KUSC for classical, and then just a variety of pop and rock stations.
Very
so
cool.
I just stream through a number of different things.
Wow.
As far as my personal interest, for classical, quote, classical music, I tend to like to listen to that music when I can actually really focus on it and almost study it more. Some of it just to enjoy, but usually when I'm just casual listening, whatever is happening to me on the radio is just fine with me, because I'm usually doing something else, and it's just nice to have in the background.
Yeah, not having to analyze some of the big pop songs by Nicki Minaj, I'm guessing, is nice, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, there are some cool things that you'll hear something, go, oh wow, those are really interesting chord change they did, or things like that.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I know you have a big event coming up in October. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We're having our first, it's a performing arts festival, and it's actually in conjunction with, our department has now been rearranged, and it's music, theater, and dance, so all the performing arts together. And we're having a festival where we're having students within our programs here at the college, and then also inviting students from the local high schools to participate, and they can come to a solo performance of dance, music, or theater as part of a contest, and they'll be judged, so they'll get comments and feedback, but they also have the opportunity of winning some award money as well as scholarship money if they come and enter one of our programs here.
Wow.
So that'll be on October 24th, and we're looking forward to that.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That's very cool. So you talked about like having the kind of high school students come here for that event. I guess my last question would be, what would you suggest for like those students? Maybe not just coming into just music, but kind of just anywhere as an advisor. Like, what would you suggest for them to do coming into LBCC?
Well, main thing is, get in touch with a counselor and set up an appointment.
Yes.
So it's, a little plug for the counseling department as well, but that really is critical because, and then also, so meeting with a counselor and then, figuring out the application and the registration process and financial aid. Mm-hmm. The majority of students at LBCC are on some form of financial aid. Mm-hmm. And so where I see as an instructor, a lot of the issues come up in success in the classes right off the bat. They haven't had some of those issues worked out and they can't get textbooks or things like that. I mean, it's not exciting stuff, but it's really necessary. Yeah. So getting in touch with financial aid counseling and academic counseling as soon as you can, and really learning how to work through the system of a college environment.
Yes, I completely agree. That's something I did not do. That is definitely something I should have done. Well, anyways, thank you so much for joining me, Dr.
You bet.
Knapp.
Thank you.
My name is Drew Darnell for IE News.
Thanks, Drew, for that informative interview. Up next, we have our college football wrap-up with LBCC sports reporter Noah Russell.
Hey sports fans, our Long Beach City College Vikings scored a dominating win with Bakersfield College 38-7. Defensive lineman Joshua Fatu was the star of the game with 5 tackles, 4 sacks, and also recovered a fumble. If you're interested, tickets to see the Vikings are $4 a person, but if you're a student with the current ID, you can get in for free. In other college football news, UCLA defeated BYU during last week's game with a score of 24-23. Starks ran for a 3-yard touchdown with 3:25 remaining. The running game had Josh Rosen's back with an impressive performance as the freshman quarterback had a rough second game. Perkins rushed 219 yards in the Bruin win. Notre Dame running back C.J. Proces provided the flash for the Fighting Irish with 3 touchdowns and 198 yards rushing, including a 91-yard touchdown. It was the longest run in Notre Dame Stadium history. The run put the Irish up by 23, but Georgia Tech waged a furious comeback that ultimately fell short. The Irish won the game 30-22. That's all the sports for now, and I'm Noah Russell, and make sure to tune in next time for more sports coverage.
Thanks, Noah. With fall here, Esther Wu interviews 2 senior fashion students with all the do's and don'ts for this season.
Hi, I'm Esther Wu here to give you the scoop on fashion trends and must-haves this season. We all have a little problems with staying on top of our fashion sense, so we brought in 2 fashion students from LBCC here on campus to let us know what we should have and what we should not have in our closet. Thanks for coming, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Great. So, Jalen, can you give us a little information on things that we should have in our closet year-round?
Year-round, definitely want to have a good pair of jeans, both black, because black's my favorite color. And then you also want to have a pair of blue. They come in, tons of different variety of washes, rips. So definitely find a pair that suits you. You definitely want to have a good jumper or a pullover sweater. And don't be afraid to play with different colors and different fabrics and the mix and matching of the two.
Yeah, that's true. I like to play with different patterns and be unique and show my own personality. And Yvette, what's your advice on year-round fashion must-haves?
Well, I would definitely say for women, every woman should own a little black dress. Whether it's going out to a party or going out to a date, it's a must-have. You can throw on a necklace, some nice pair of heels, or if you want to even do a streetwear, add some tennis shoes to it. You just don't know. But that's a must-have. Along with that, I would say a blazer. It can be short or long, but blazers are a classic. You can never go wrong with that, especially a black one. And the classic trench coat, or trench, you just, again, throw it on a dress, throw it on a pair of jeans and shirt, and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned the sneakers. I see that sneakers are in this fall, especially the ones with the wedges. What do you guys think about those?
Definitely, if styled right, it definitely looked like it could work. A lot of trends now are kind of, I guess, the mixing of something a little bit more formal with something more casual. And so, like she said, with the black dress, you could, of course, pair with heels, flats, or even a pair of sneakers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just it's changed like a lot from what it was before. Like in today's runway shows, you'll see that a lot of designers are throwing in activewear into a fashion sense, not just a sporty wear.
And also keep in mind, a lot of the pieces that we mentioned are classic pieces. So these are pieces that you can always continue to wear year-round, season after season.
Yeah. And what do you guys say for the men? For the men,
you definitely want to have a good pair of fitted slacks or trousers, because you never know when you have to go dress up for an interview or on a date. You want to have a nice button-up shirt, and then also, like she said, a blazer too, because you can always wear that with a pair of jeans and probably some boots, and give you kind of like a sort of rocker slash Balmain kind of look there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's great advice for the guys out there. We're not leaving you guys out. Okay, and so what do you guys say about fall? We had a really hot summer. How do we transition without shopping too much and going out with buying the new things? How do we transition from the summer fashion to the fall fashion?
Well, when you're here in California, it's a very slow transition. So I guess you probably want to start off with, I would say, the outerwear pieces first, because you can always wear kind of your normal everyday things, especially here because it's not really that cold. But then, of course, as it gets later on in the day, you want to have a nice sweatshirt, a nice jacket. You might want to start off with some accessories, a scarf, a hat, something like that.
Yeah. And what's your take on it, Yvette?
Well, as far as transition, it's not, you may not think of it as something big, but even adding jewelry makes a big difference. Like into like this upcoming fall, a lot of pieces are going to be about like the statement pieces for jewelry. You want to throw on a big necklace or the big earrings, and it'll just make it a completely different look. So I would definitely add that to your pieces if you want to start like a slow transition. But like you mentioned, you know, throw on the knits and then all of that.
Okay, and so for those of us who do like to shop and we're not scared to spend that extra penny, myself here, what are some trends that are on the runway that we should look out for and definitely purchase? Yvette?
Well, some of the pieces that we haven't seen yet and that are keep an eye out for are one of the skirts is called a car wash. They're called car wash pleats, but they're skirts that have wide pleats underneath them. So you'll keep an eye on those. You haven't seen them, but when you think of a car wash and how they have the little cleaning stuff. So that's gonna be underneath the skirts or like as cuts. You'll see a lot of that coming in. You'll see a lot of pants that are high waisted. We call them high-waisted, but really it's at the waistline. So we don't know where that came from, but let me just say they're not high-waisted, they're waisted pants. Yeah, because they are at your waist. So yes. But yeah, a lot of that's going to come in. A lot of flared pants are going to come in. We're kind of leaning away from
bell-bottoms?
Not bell-bottoms, because they're like little, just like a little, well, I guess, in a sense, but a lot of flared. But we're coming away from the skinny jean and going into the flared jeans now.
Oh, I love my skinny jeans now.
Moving away from, I guess, the real skinny cut into a more relaxed fit, almost kind of like the boyfriend jean.
Right.
Where it's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more casual. And you've seen Rihanna, Zendaya, a few other celebrities have paired this sort of loose-fitting jean with a pump and maybe an oversized button-up.
Okay.
And then you have like just an everyday look that you can just wear out.
And that's for fall, you would say?
Yes.
Yeah, with the oversized sweater and things.
Oh yeah, the chunky knits.
Awesome. Now, I hear that you brought an example of a piece that you made. We have a model to show. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Thank you. So this is one of the pieces that I did last semester. It was one of my final pieces. I decided to go with a crop top with two different patterns on top. So we have like more of a knitted fabric here, and then we have like a stretchy knit here with a wrap skirt. So I kind of wanted to use the sleeves and the skirt to be matching. But what I want to talk about was the construction of it here at LBCC. They taught us how to make everything from scratch. So a lot of people don't know what it is like that we have to go through on a regular basis. So
so it really is a process from the sketch, the initial sketch, on to choosing the fabrics, developing the pattern, making a prototype to see how it fits, make sure everything's coming out the way that you want it. And then, of course, I know that with these particular fabrics, there was some difficulty with just trial and error, figuring out what's going to work for this particular fabric and how to, and I guess how to get to the initial vision that you had.
Oh, okay. It's amazing. I can tell that you guys spent time, or you spent time on making the piece. And speaking of time, how long did it take you to put this piece together?
Well, just based off the fabrics and stuff, it took me about a month with prototypes, making the samples, making the final up to the final piece, creating everything. It took me around a month to do, because we have to go through, like he mentioned, this trial and error. It's just a lot of things that you have to figure out. Like, I didn't know it was gonna be this hard to work with the fabric, but with this kind of fabric, the top one, you need like a special kind of seam to go with it, because you just can't sew with it. You need special pieces to go, and like it's a lot of work that goes into these things.
Keep in mind that she's also playing with a lot of different trends now. Of course, the crop top, the skirt, the mixing and matching of different fabrics and patterns. And the crop top actually works for a lot of different body types too.
Yeah, it looks really great on Taylor. Really great.
You can always switch it up. You can use a crop top with a different jean, or if you wanted to use like a waisted pant, or you can use a skirt with a different top.
Awesome. It looks really great. And I can tell why some people will charge more for their products because of the process that it takes. And also that there's a very limited amount of pieces made. And how many did you make?
This is just one that I've had. Like this is the only one that I've made.
Wow.
So this is it.
That's a special
right.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you so much. So now we're going to talk about the fashion don'ts for men and women. What are the fashion don'ts for this fall? Jalen, can you elaborate for men?
For men, I would definitely say the biggest pet peeve I have is with fit, is just wear things that are going to fit you. Don't. I know that the oversized trend is a big trend, so I like oversized shirt. That works, but as far as like wearing things that are supposed to be tailored, yes. And I know that we're sort of stepping away from the really tailored look as far as the trend goes, and it's going into a little bit more relaxed fit. But I guess just kind of looking a little bit more put together and a little bit more neater.
Something that fits you properly.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure you're wearing things that fit.
Also stay away from like sweatpants and very basic things.
So no sweatpants if you're not going to the gym. Okay, so Yvette, what do you have to state about the fashion don'ts for the ladies?
First and foremost, can we get away from the shorts and the Ugg boots? That has never been trending. I don't know where people got it from, but just stay away from all of that. Crop tops are in, and they'll probably be around for a bit more, but an overexposure of skin is a don't. Like, too much skin is not okay.
Especially in the fall,
Yes, it's not okay. It's like, or fitted shorts or like a fitted top. Like, you always want to throw something that's a little bit more loose fitting. You don't want to have something that's like too tight on you and like, again.
Yes,
fit. Right. I would also say, like the ripped jeans maybe.
The jeans with the big gaping hole in those,
Oh,
yes.
okay, so that's
ripped jeans are
perfect,
but overly ripped, it just looks trashy.
Yeah, what's the point?
Okay. So, ladies, make sure you're not wearing the jeans with too many rips. So, I'm so happy you guys came by. I'm so happy that you guys shared all the secretive information that we all need to know. It's been a really great moment, and I'll make sure to keep all those tips in mind and share with my friends. Thanks so much for coming.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So tonight, we were here with Jalen and Yvette, and I'm Esther Wu. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we gave you great information to share with your friends and family on the fall fashion trends. Have a great one. Bye.
Thanks, Esther, for all the fashion do's and don'ts for this fall. That's all we have for this week. If you would like to join our award-winning radio TV production team, contact us at 562-938-4892. I'm Maya Brannon, reporting from the Liberal Arts Campus. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.